welcome you to a 4th of July tradition in Colorado Springs. The Switchbacks and Monterey Bay, after a slight delay, are ready to roll from Widener Field in Colorado Springs. Tonight's match is presented by Pikes Peak National Bank. Joined by Ricky Lopez, Espin, Mike Watts on hand. Finally, we're ready to go in this 4-5 matchup in the Western Conference. Take a look at the standings. These teams side by side, just 1 point separates. For Colorado Springs a win, they jump San Antonio on the win tiebreaker. Monterey Bay wins here on the road, be their 4th of the season away, and they would jump within 1 point of El Paso Locomotive. Here tonight, Ricky, a chance for Colorado Springs to get the best out of Romario Williams. He's our player to watch, presented by Keg One Modelo, because he did score last time out. Can it carry over?
He's going to be motivated to get on the score sheet once again, but so interesting for Romario Williams, whether it's popping in the hole, but also spinning it behind to operate and stretch the opposition. So players underneath him have the ability to operate into between those holes. But if you're Stephen Hogan, what does the service look like for this man? Because he can score every single type of goal inside that 18-yard box.
And for Monterey Bay, a chance for Sean Okoli to re-immerse himself in the starting lineup.
And as a player, all you can ask for is an opportunity when the team sheet comes out to make sure your name is written in pen. You see 1 assist on the year for Sean Okoli, but it's never a question of quality. If Monterey Bay has any hope of taking all 3 points back home, Sean Okoli needs to get on the ball, be early and active and confident in around that 18-yard box.
Another game away from Seaside for Monterey Bay. They'll make the most changes game to game to their lineup all season long. Switchbacks ready to excite the crowd. Lineups kick off when we return to Colorado Springs.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over, and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15, and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you got this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
It was a 40-minute wait, and finally, tonight's player walkout is sponsored by Children's Hospital Colorado. Widener Field, Colorado Springs, and Monterey Bay, 4th and 5th in the championship's Western Conference. Very happy 4th of July, everybody, with Ricky Lopez, Espin, Mike Watts on hand. Tonight's lineups are brought to you by Phil Long. We start with Stephen Hogan's side, and they made 3 changes: Williams, Chapman, and Fjellberg.
It all comes down to fluidity, especially in the center of the park. As Williams is going to be that single pivot right in front of that backboard, so that's going to give Jay Chapman and Echeverria the ability to join the attack as they see fit. But what does that relationship look like? You want to give service to Romario Williams. He's going to stay high and the movement underneath him. But if you're Stephen Hogan, this attacking unit needs to get going and need to get going early here tonight.
Meanwhile, for Frank Yall up in Monterey Bay, they were clear. We are coming off a road game. We have a huge game with El Paso coming up 7 changes, their most rotated lineup of the year.
You're going to see it maybe shift into a back 3 as Donor going to push up a bit wider. Boone's going to come into the interior, and Yoseki, Dawkins, and Murphy, they're going to be that single pivot right in front of that back line. So what does that relationship look like? To pick and choose their times when to go forward. Okoli, he's going to stay high. He's going to occupy the 2 center backs. So that's going to give Julian Enriquez the ability to join into the build-up, whether it's centrally, whether it's around the corner. But if you're Frank Yelp, again, that front line needs to be early and active, asking questions of Colorado Springs in that back line.
Dawkins first start of the year, Okoli's second, and Chewy's 4th. Mario Williams ready to go. 2 Herreras in goal. Carlos for Monterey, the Californian, and the New Mexican Christian for Colorado Springs. Sean Okoli over the ball. MVP in 2016 with FC Cincinnati. Matthew Thompson has an issue. After an elongated wait, now we're satisfied. Celebratory atmosphere despite starting 42 minutes behind schedule. The opening whistle from Matthew Thompson, not a moment too soon. It's Monterey Bay away to Colorado Springs. Chip back by Okoli. Colorado Springs in the blue tonight, Monterey Bay in the black. And an early foul. It's Maury Donor brought down by Juan Tejada. His 5th appearance for the Switchbacks, 4th as a starter. Tejada, not a ton of starts since his rookie year. In less than a minute, he's making friends with Matthew Thompson. We'll be watching him, I imagine, quite closely.
It's going to be a nice little matchup between Donor and Tejada here on this near side, because Donor likes to get forward. He likes to be attacking outside back. So what does it look like going back the other way? Because we talked about the ability for Tejada to create goals, to create assists, transition moments. So that's something to keep an eye out on.
Dawkins playing early. Ball launched downfield. Long run for Fjellberg. Rounding the corner, playing the cross. Tejada! What a start for Colorado Springs! The first firework of the night. 1-0, less than 100 seconds in.
We've talked about relationships all over the field. As Williams pops in, Fjellberg understands there's going to be real estate to get in behind and stretch the opposition. If you're Kai Green, there's no need to go so wide. But it's all about the movement, getting off the shoulder for Tejada between Hugh Roberts and Maury Donor. But what a fantastic goal this is. He doesn't need to hit it too hard, just need to get clean contact. As this ball's coming across, squeaks into that near post, nothing Herrera can do. Dream start to the home side, get their goal within the first 2 minutes.
His first goal for Colorado Springs. The Switchbacks goal presented by Century Casinos. Welcome to the winner's zone. Part of our conversation with Stephen Hogan, I asked him, do you think you can bait Monterey Bay out? This is a team that is so compact, so defensively sturdy. He said, I sure hope so, but also an early goal would change the whole dynamic, and here it is.
It's exactly what Colorado Springs Switchbacks won. It all comes down to the movement as Williams pops in the hole, and that's something that we touched on in the open, him pulling in a center back out. So if you're Hugh Roberts, you have to have the ability to have that communication for her to pass him on to Murphy, because as he gets drawn out, that makes Kai Green make the rotation run over, and he gets pulled out way too wide. So how does the movement on the back end is just so good to recognize the space. Dream start. So now what does this look like for Monterey Bay in terms of their reaction?
They've been very good on the road this year. Not quite as good as Colorado Springs have been at home, to be fair. One of the best home sides in the championship. Certainly hoping to make quite the impression on one of their biggest crowds of the year. Tejada. Oh, there he goes. Tejada's on one tonight. The layoff, the return, sliced out, recovered briefly, and cleared away. Williams was tracking inward toward it. Maury Donor got left in the dust by Tejada.
Just uses the double team against him, baits him in, changes pace, change of direction. And as this ball comes across, if you're Jay Chapman, you need to be tougher in this challenge. As you try to use the body, Donor does extremely well. Last-ditch defending effort. The Switchbacks are asking all sorts of questions, all one-way traffic.
Ball brought down on its face. That was excellent. There's the clearance for Monterey Bay. By the way, it was Donor who got back and recovered. And down goes Tejada, head-to-head contact with the aforementioned Donor. You know, part of the conversation coming into this game was how good Maury Donor has been in wide areas for Monterey Bay. In Frank Yallop's estimation, one of the best in the league at his position. And then Juan Tejada, conversely, a player that historically hasn't started much and may provide a little impetus on the other forwards to improve their game lest they lose their spot.
And as a coach, you bring him in just to create competition, just kind of let a fire underneath players to understand that my job is not secure. Always someone on your heels asking you questions, seeing if you drop in performance, I'm there to pick up the reins. And Tejada has done just that. So you, as a player, in terms of his rotation, him and Romari Williams, very good understanding. If you're Stephen Hogan, that's something to keep an eye on, just that front three, how fluid they've been already the first 6 minutes here.
Away by Kai Green. Started all 18 games this year for Monterey Bay. There's Tejada returning to the fray. It's smart for Murphy, track that run. Away from Chapman, but to Romario Williams, who found his 7th goal of the season. Added insurance in a 2-0 win at home against Miami. Last time out for Colorado Springs. Musa. Swung out to Tejada, has the overlap of Segrist. Turned it down, sends the cross backside. Herrera still out. And that's a goal kick for Monterey Bay.
It's been nervy in this back line for the visitors as this ball gets whipped in. If you're Herrera, you need to be more secure coming off your line. Almost get caught out, but give credit once again to Chase Boone doing the defensive duties, last-ditch defending effort because Mahoney gets there first. Ball goes over the line.
Colorado Springs pressing high up the field, asking questions of Grant Robinson. You know, it's funny, one thing I've learned from watching the professional bull riders long enough is the longer you leave the bull in the cage and you start to count down the timer, comes out just a little angrier. I think Colorado Springs might be living that life right now.
Now, if you're Monterey Bay, you have to pick and choose your time and space, when to play through this initial pressure, or just when to play direct and relieve some of the pressure that you've been under. Yes, you want to get Okoli on the ball because he needs to stay high. Too many times he's dropping in. That's making this field extremely compacted. Do the opposite. You want to be expansive. You want to open up gaps. And once again, a bit too sloppy.
Green wise to the Williams back heel, or it was going to be a real problem. Monterey Bay had won 4 in a row, unbeaten in 5 until their loss to Orange County. And Frank Yallop said, we were outplayed. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. And they need to find themselves here. They may be staring down a 2-goal deficit. Tejada off of Donor. Patrick Segrist. Flicked into the width. Can Okoli hold up play? He's held up, Ogren. I think these kits remind you a little bit of New Mexico, right?
big deal.
Speaking of, Mexico is playing tonight. Slowly but surely, we're showing you the score. This is all part of our desire not to give you too many spoilers. Goal fest in Las Vegas tonight. That is Chapman. That is out of play.
I think he's going to be massive for the success for the Switchbacks as they continue on throughout this season. The ability to break down opposition in terms of his passing range and his technique. Bring him next to Speedy Williams, Echeverria, as well as the three-man midfield that you're going to see throughout USL Championship. The balance between those three, you can get them going. See Tejada, what he's all about. Stephen Hogan, you're looking at attacking football through your lines up front too, especially.
By the way, the goals in that New Mexico-Vegas game, Armando Moreno has scored again. He's on fire. Daniel Bruce, the lead right before halftime. Less than 2 minutes after Pato Boteo Fas scored in the 44th for Vegas. Ricky, if you're really good tonight, maybe we'll even look at the highlights at halftime.
I'll be on my best behavior.
Yeah. Toner. Enriquez. It's not out of Coley. It's still with Murphy and now Green. Hugh Roberts, who captains the side. Robinson. They kept the back line intact. It's pretty much everything in front of that tonight. And no Moby Fair, we're told he's dealing with a knock, a little groin tightness, and they know that Saturday game against El Paso has so much weight. The top of the Western Conference, they held him out. He's inactive. As a player who I'm sure usually started, but occasionally came off the bench, Ricky, I imagine there's an element of salivating at the idea of getting a chance at a game like this on the back end of a two-game road swing.
100%. Every time you step on the field, you look at your manager and say, you should never take me off the field. That have that opportunity to, like every time a starting 11 comes up, much like we talked about, watch out there.
That's a stumble and a poor touch, and Tejada is going to race onto this. Tips away from him, but the danger is still on through Speedy Williams. Stepping in Fjellberg. It's Echeverria. Did Nate Miller like when you said that in Lansing? You'll never take me off the field.
That's the competitive nature of a player. You always wouldn't be on the field, but you talked about something we talked about with Sean Okoli. So yes, quality is there.
Spinning in, back heel, return. Herrera launching.
I think Williams here makes the wrong decision. Tries to play in Mahoney around the corner, but he has Fjellberg continuing his run right on top of the 18-yard box. It's hard to see the creativeness coming out, especially on the front line for the Switchbacks, so they are feeling it. And if you're Stephen Hogan, you have to be extremely pleased. 13 minutes, it's been all one-way traffic in your attacking half.
This is Mahoney. He'll take the space. Mahoney laying off. Again, they tried the give and go. They really are feeling the combination play in the first quarter hour. And turned over short of the halfway line en route to Dawkins. Speedy Williams. Back from Fjellberg. If you're Monterey Bay, is this weathering the storm? No pun intended, giving our weight?
At the moment, no. It's too many sloppy turnovers. You want to play farther away from your goal. Moments ago, you saw Chase Boone pick up the ball, try to play into Dawkins. There's three.
There's the ball in behind, and Roberts did well enough to shield that away. He argues with Echeverria a bit, and the referee as well. It is a goal kick.
Herrera, you slow this thing down. You take a deep breath. You do not want to play short. Clear your lines, play it up the field, try to win that second ball higher. It's been very sloppy in terms of, one, their positioning, also their decision-making for Monterey Bay.
away by Carlos Herrera. His 7th start of the year, his 4th since May the 20th. Anthony Siaha, perhaps giving up a soft goal last time out, could play a role in that choice. Again, however, often see coaches with back-to-back road games make those kinds of decisions. Referee allows play to continue despite the potential handball. There's Speedy, the 3-time championship title winner. Off the back heel of Donor, or else Tejada was going one-on-one with Green.
He's not getting in a rhythm at the moment, Monterey Bay. We haven't seen enough of Dawkins. James Murphy, the engine, playing in the center of the park for Frankie Alp's boys. Giving the ball over extremely cheaply. The result of that, we haven't seen Chase Boone at all. So those players, you need to get on the ball if you're Frank Alp, because those are your special players that can create something out of nothing.
Boone had 8 goals last year in 24 games. He's locked in on 1 through 15 appearances this year. Notably, Valesky, Dixon available off the bench. Gleedle as well, the front 3 that's really powered Monterey Bay into 4th place. Frank Yallop didn't give us all the details in advance, but he did indicate, I can't run these guys into the ground. Can't burn them out at this point in the season. Interchange with Donor. Murphy, he can play a wicked service. In that instance, maybe it's the thin air that sends it too far.
But it's better. Understanding as Donor comes in, puts his foot on it, circulates the ball back across, and if you're James Murphy, yes, lack of quality on the service, but again, you're getting the ball a bit more. You're getting the confidence within the team, moving the ball from left to right. This relationship on this near side for Frank Alp is going to be really important between him, or Donor, and Chuy Enriquez. As one comes into the interior, the other one provides that width. You always want to be on different planes. Ask questions to test the shape of Patrick Seacrest and James Moose on this near side.
Donor. It's too far for Chase Boone. A couple stats of note, that is the earliest goal of the season for Colorado Springs, 91 seconds into the game. The Switchbacks scoring the opening goal for the 8th time this year. They've won all 7 previous instances. And they're undefeated in their last 16 when they score first, going back to a 3-2 thriller, well, 364 days ago against San Diego, July the 5th last year. Turn from Yoseki. Spinning off Dawkins. Fjellberg. You know, every time I see a game here in Colorado Springs, and Switchbacks will be on national TV start of August hosting the summer showcase, essentially a nod to the work that's been done here by the Wideners and Reagans to turn this thing around. I've never seen so many casuals really fold into a club the way this new venue, the downtown nature of it, and certainly the level of play and how exciting it's become, how quickly fans have become enticed here in Colorado Springs.
Especially when you score 90 seconds in.
That helps.
Out of the break, that helps. That's all in the way that you do it as well. Stylish football, attack-minded football. That's something that Stephen Hogan on wants his boys to be methodical and build up, yes, but also expansive and direct if it allows you.
Well, that was a good idea until it wasn't. Still, Switchbacks take over through Patrick Segrist. Chapman. Segrist. Williams. Chapman. Tejada. Segrist. Flicking over the top. Better to be a throw than a goal kick. By the way, a very happy 4th of July, in particular to the military community here in the Colorado Springs area. Always such a close connection with the fabric of Colorado Springs, the state of Colorado. Running in Williams to try and get a piece of Herrera. And of course, the Switchbacks. That slid too far. Still can't believe England blew a 13-colony lead. Cannot believe it. Musa. Probing stuff from Colorado Springs. Chapman likes the look. That's a lot of running from Kai Green, but does force Colorado Springs back.
The second time that Jay Chapman gets his head up, takes an extra touch instead of making the decision, that window closes, so that's why he has to play negative. But if you're the Switchbacks, if you can pull out a James Murphy or Yoseki to double pivots from Monterey Bay and have them jump off their line, there's going to be real estate for Chapman and Echeverria to get in those half pockets, to get on the half turn. And you're asking questions of Hugh Roberts and Kai Green because they're going to need to step off their line. That's going to open up space for players like him.
Fjellberg, free kick. Monterey Bay is under pressure now. Murphy barking, but the Switchbacks in prime real estate.
Off the ball movement, up the corner of Yoseki, and again, it's a slow in reaction, slow in rotation. As Murphy comes in, he takes a lot of the body of Fjellberg there, makes the most of the contact. A very dangerous set piece for the Switchbacks.
This free kick scoring opportunity is brought to you by Underline, delivering gigabit fiber internet. Underline.com/COS. If you're Romario, is this no doubt strike for goal territory?
100%. The technique that he does, that's going to be the question. Go for power, goalkeeper side, or you go for enough English on it, try to bend it up and over the wall, around the wall, and near side of Herrera's goal.
If you're the Union, it's a good time to start covering. Good chance this is going to come with a wicked amount of pace. Romario Williams off the wall. Romario Williams out of the venue. And that caught Hugh Roberts all wrong. It's like it got him right in the head.
That's a risky run with being in the wall. You want to stay compact. You want to jump in unison. Brave there from Hugh Roberts. Math is not fun, but he's been so important in this back line for Monterey Bay. That's something that Frankie Alp was quick to point out on our phone call. Him and Kai Green, a very good relationship between those two.
Roberts well over 200 games now in the championship. He arrived in Richmond as a trialist, and wherever he's gone, Richmond, Pittsburgh, Charlotte, now with Monterey Bay, the franchise's second year, he's been a leader. He's been the focal point defensively. Bravery is a good way to put it. There's no challenge he's afraid of. One of the best in league history by any measure. Assume they don't mean come on you boys in crisp and kelp with their blue. Offside. Trailheads are having a night tonight. Colorado Springs, are you changing anything, or do you feel like this game is as open as you want?
I think your decision making is going to be very important for the remainder of this half, especially when your two center backs have the ball. When Musa and Agron get on the ball, they're head up. Can you bypass a line into a Fieldberg, into a Chapman? Keep talking about those half pockets, because so many times when Okoli, Boone, and Enriquez step off for Monterey Bay, it's a bit slow in terms of the rotation, stepping off in unison with them between that middle three. You can bypass and take about 4 players out in terms of your passing for the switchbacks. It's going to create overloads on the top line. If you're Stephen Hogan, you're betting on your front line. Ask questions and beat this Monterey Bay, especially when you have the real estate as a head full running down.
The referee saw it. Didn't really seem all that perturbed. We need more refs like Matthew Thompson allowing that to play. There's a lot of refs that see that and don't give advantage. They'd rather allow Colorado Springs to slink all the way back and give a free kick. I don't know if that benefits the game. Don't know if it benefits the team that won the foul either.
I agree with you, 100%.
Ultimately, Monterey Bay can make nothing of it. Mahoney, Fieldberg. Ripped ahead by Tejada. Green, Herrera. Green, Donor. Didn't reach Boone, but the pressure on Musa sends it to touch. And that's a corner. Play to Donor. Murphy. Oh, this is brilliant. The touch was heavy, though, and you could tell that was all part of the plan. Donor sweeps back to Murphy. They set up Simon Dawkins perfectly. Flick through for Boone. Another corner.
You know, when things aren't clicking on the attacking phase of your game, you look to set pieces to kickstart it. Like you said, Mike, it's a brilliant ball in for Murphy. If Simon Dawkins has a cleaner touch, it's a crack on goal. The touch slows things down. It gives the Switchbacks the ability to close down the space, and now another dangerous set piece for Monterey Bay.
Murphy. Header speared high. Into an onside Murphy, sliding through once more. Again, the clearance off the head of Williams, and some breathing room for Colorado Springs. Dawkins, the danger man, out of the reach of Enriquez. You know, one of the cool parts of this matchup is seeing two coaches at different stages of their career. You look at Stephen Hogan, 37 years old, just took over after being an assistant to Brendan Burke in Bethlehem and now here. And then you've got Frank Yallop on the other side, who's done more or less everything there is to do in this country at the international level, 58 years old, leading expansion team to the cusp of the postseason last year. It could very easily be a little disconcerting having to coach against a guy like that, and it's the ultimate chess match for Stephen Hogan to test himself.
He was just quick to point out as well as saying, look, just so much respect for Frank Yallop and everything that Monterey Bay is doing in terms of their organization. So well respected. It's also an honor to coach against a player. A coach has had so much success as Frank Yallop too, and also learning curves as well. So Stephen Hogan, you're enjoying this time, and you're enjoying just picking and choosing little nuances to pick up from coaches that have been done at the highest levels in this sport.
Ball whipped across, opened up to Chapman. Didn't play. Boone drops back. Monterey Bay finished 12th in the West last year, but finished the season with a playoff caliber record in the second half. Rolled ahead by Mahoney. Fjellberg slipping through. Jonas Fjellberg! Crowd's going crazy, but it's on the wrong side of the net.
He's been so active on that far side. Weathers pushing wide, putting a lot of pressure on Robinson, but no one closes down the space. Beats Yoseki for pace, has eyes for that far post, but once again, you look at James Murphy just standing there. Your center midfielder, you comes into your area, you need to close down. Not enough bend on it, but once again, he's been bright, he's been active, Fjellberg, for the Switchbacks.
First start since April, only his 4th appearance of the season. And to your point about Yallop, 2 MLS Cups, a Supporters Shield, twice the Coach of the Year there, coached the Canadian national team, and a legend at Ipswich over in England before finishing his career with the Tampa Bay Mutiny. Swung outside to Tejada. Mario Williams drawing in Kai Green. Green up to the task. What a battle of attrition this is. Finally, Green has won it. Boone playing back. Sent away.
It's so impressive with the Switchbacks, the ability to repress when they cough up the ball, especially deep into their final third. So 5 players for the home side just swarming the ball. It's a great little pass there.
Tejada. Fjellberg. Lundgren. Musa, Tejada, Williams. Step in by Roberts. Curled over to Boone. As Donor front running. Slide by Musa to recover. Mahoney. Chapman. On this familiar left-hand side, Segrist played a role in both goals against Miami, club that he used to play for. Another club that he used to be a rival of, come to think of it. Wrong Miami. It is a corner. It's brought to you by Pikes Peak National Bank. Bank well, be well, cheer loud. Williams stayed for Tejada. That's the chess match. We've seen a couple of specialty corners. You have one on the training ground that just felt right. Were you all looking forward to it?
100%. There's nothing better for a player manager to work on it during the week, to walk across the white line on game day and have to execute to perfection. It's so difficult because everything needs to go right. The movement, how clean can you be? So many times you try to do it, it has to be one touch. That's one of the hardest things in football. This ball's getting whipped into you, to redirect it with enough power, with enough precision, the right foot, little things like that. That's why you don't see as much as you would like. But when it does, oh, it feels good and everyone is over the moon.
Musa gave it away. Murphy leading Okoli. Dragged him wide. Called for the help of Donor. Instead, Okoli will do it himself. Okoli skims long. Aseki. Robinson. Fall for Donor. Monterey Bay seeking the equalizer. Fell behind 91 seconds in. The cross by Boone. No shots for Monterey Bay through 38 minutes.
Just hasn't been clean enough, especially in around that 18-yard box too many times.
Donor again. Too far for Chuy Enriquez.
Just balls exactly like that are overhit, not finding their intended target. They're doing extremely well getting themselves into that final third, but once in that final third, it's a lack of quality, lack of movement, lack of crispness that we've come to expect from this Frankie Alp side.
Banging off the contact. It's still there for Echeverria. Sliding through Tejada. Spark plug from the jump. Corrals once more for the Switchbacks. Stuff from Colorado Springs. Musa will bring it back. This is one of two games in the championship tonight. The other occurring in Las Vegas. New Mexico retains the lead they gained right before halftime, hitting the hour mark. Game that's critical down at the playoff line. Vegas They may well already be out, but New Mexico's still in this thing.
One to win on the year for Vegas. Isidro Sanchez, you need to figure something out and figure something out extremely quick.
Big ball for Williams, who was offside. Pretty enticing team last year, Las Vegas. They didn't win a ton of games, but you always knew you were going to get a heck of a show. With LAFC going about things differently, and of course taking back their coach Steve Cherundolo a year and a half ago. Intriguing run, or rather half a year ago. Well, a year and a half ago, yeah. Cherundolo won the MLS Cup, yeah. Trying to do math here.
Not my strong suit.
Nature of the game has changed the last 5-10 minutes, hasn't it?
It's better defensively for Monterey Bay, that's for sure. Too many times earlier in this first half, getting spread apart so many times. The Switchbacks had the ability to break the pressure, moments just like this. As they played themselves into the game, the confidence started to grow. The results of that defensively a bit harder to break down.
Fjellberg trying to cut by Robinson, who's finally able to stick a foot in, and Robinson is on the receiving end. Off to the corner.
Just his positioning high and wide puts a lot of pressure on Robinson because he needs to make a decision. Do I peel outside or do I stay compact with my back forward? Fjellberg, excuse me, is just so good on the ball, so slippery. Is it off with another dangerous set piece?
This corner kick brought to you by McDivitt Law Firm. We are in your corner. Service from Segrist. Soars into the air. Still work to be done. Knotted down. Touched away by Roberts. And now the whistle's gone. By any means necessary, Hugh Roberts.
Just massive, winning his individual battle. Secondary action of this ball, I think it's Jay Chapman that comes over the top. Excuse me, Mahoney of Robinson. Right here. Pushes down.
Fjellberg's back up. His name is Jonas. Split 2022 between Indy and RGV. He's applauding the crowd. Quite sure what this walk is. They have made a change. So Fjellberg is done. His name was Jonas. Substitution brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more, hibblecenter.org. Deshane Beckford in off the bench. And 2 minutes before halftime, too. So using a moment at that juncture.
Yeah, it has to be something serious. You're Stephen Hogan, you don't want to risk it. You trust your player when he says something is wrong and gives you that signal. But now this is going to be a completely different look for the Switchbacks. Fjellberg wants the ball to his feet. He wants to take his player.
Ball whipped across. Not a bad idea. Murphy retains possession. Upfield through Robinson. That's Enriquez. Whipping to the top of the penalty area. Off the spin, Boone. Murphy swings outside. Robinson forward. Enriquez. Corner, Monterey Bay. Corner kicks. Here in the southeast corner. Corner kick brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi. That's what I like. Murphy. All rolled through. Dawkins has Donor behind him. The quick service did find the head of Boone. Let's get a better look at Jonas Feldberg here a moment ago before he came off.
That awkward, no real contact there. He just kicks it off of Robinson. That signal right there. Stephen Hogan, you have to understand that. Points down.
He's pointing his right leg. Not what you want to see. Stoppage time brought to you by the TikTok Shop.
So he is just very happy to see him go off the field. He's going to be Grant Robinson, that's for sure. But now I'm going to deal with Beckford, the ability just to stretch the game. Pace, quickness, opportunistic. Different look and different feel on that far side for the Switchbacks now. But just his positioning, he's going to ask a lot of questions. The outside back for Monterey Bay, because he's going to stay in high and wide. So Robinson has to understand, do I stay compact with my back four? Do I go out and face Shane Beckford? If he goes out, there's going to be a gap between him and Hugh Robertson. Who's going to make that secondary action to break that line?
We've gone the minute. Was the sub right before stoppage time. That earns an extra 13 seconds. Colorado Springs needed just 91 seconds to pull ahead. Juan Tejada, his first for the club, a real banger. Switchbacks ahead at the half.
Yeah, he was massive, especially in the first part of this first half. The ability just to get on the wrong side of his individual defender, but if you're the Switchbacks, you want to get this second goal for Stephen Hogan. How quickly can you do that after the break? For Frank Gallup, better as you've grown into this game in terms of your confidence, defensive structure, but now not offering enough on the attacking half. So what does this look like in the next 45 minutes? It's going to be very interesting for both of these managers.
Might look ominous. Alas, weather is cleared out. 4th of July celebration. Even Ziggy's in on the act. Colorado Springs do their part right from the opening jump. Juan Tejada, tremendous goal. On to halftime, presented by Pikes Peak National Bank after these messages.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15 and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
We've all heard the phrase before, the mountains are calling. Well, these mountains are screaming. That's what gets me out here in the pool every day. They energize me, even when I'm not feeling it. In fact, they energize our whole family. We have done so much more outside in Colorado, hiking, biking, swimming, fishing, skiing, you name it, and we owe it to the mountains. They literally take your breath away.
Watch Scott Kilbury on Fox 21 Local News, weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you got this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get up. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
Back in downtown Colorado Springs, happy holiday to both Switchback fans, Monterey Bay fans, fans around the championship. It's the matchup of the night here on the 4th of July, and halftime is presented by Pikes Peak National Bank. Mike, Ricky, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for Colorado Springs. They've got this upcoming home game with San Diego, and then they're going to go on the road, see the Loyal and Phoenix, who suddenly look like world beaters again.
It's going to be very interesting and a nice, juicy part of the schedule here for the Switchbacks. You're welcoming the Loyal, and then you welcome Birmingham Legion, and then Tulsa, and then you go to Phoenix Rising and San Diego Loyal. And it's really important because these are all Western Conference teams. So what does that look like for Stephen Hogan? If you push them down, you climb higher. You want to pick up wins, especially when you're here in front of your home faithful.
Yeah, it'd be an enormous upcoming 3 games here in the West. Meanwhile, for Monterey Bay, all eyes on that game on July 15th. It's on ESPN2. The USL Championship game of the week. El Paso is next, however. They're the number 2 team in the West.
And that's something that Frank Gallup was quick to talk to us, saying, look, we're going to rotate because we have that El Paso game on Saturday. But then the Oakland Roots, Detroit City, Phoenix, and Sacramento, all of those except Detroit, Western Conference teams. And if you're Frank Gallup, you talk to him saying how important it is to be in the top 4 to get a home playoff game. Once the playoffs comes around the corner, you need to get going now. You need to start picking up points as you have hopes to host in the playoffs.
And lest we forget, Union beats Sacramento on the road. The return game is August the 5th. Meanwhile, tonight's honorary healthcare professional of the match, Crystal Lenz, pathology resident at Penrose Hospital. Our thank you to Crystal for all you've done to help our community. The healthcare professional of the match, co-sponsored by Encore Electric, along with Olson Plumbing and Heating. Beautiful family, and our genuine appreciation. All the while here at Widener Field in Colorado Springs. 2 teams desperate to climb up the table, a chance to jump into 3rd in the West. Switchbacks 1, Monterey Bay 0 at halftime.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Slide this in behind. Now it comes for Valesky. Tries to leave it there for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle. It's a tap in for Christian Valesky. And Monterey Bay are absolutely flying tonight. Bomasoso. Right through the middle. Johnny Rodriguez. Rodriguez scores! Something out of nothing for the Oakland Roots.
It's summertime, and if you're lucky, weather in your neighborhood could be coming to your neighborhood. Every Thursday, one lucky winner will get to host a weather party from their backyard. Invite us over, and I'll do the weather live on Fox 21 News at 5 and 6:30. Plus, I'll bring along enough food for 15 and I'll bring the Fox 21 Storm Squatch as well. Enter now on the Fox 21 Storm Team app for your chance to win a weather in your neighborhood party.
Fox 21 Weather in your neighborhood is sponsored by Luxury Car Cosmetics.
Halftime tonight presented by Pikes Peak National Bank. Back on the CW and ESPN Plus, Colorado Springs lead Monterey Bay 1-0 in this 4th of July extravaganza. All right, let's take a look at news and notes around the championship and beyond. Championship well represented, League One, 2 at the Gold Cup. A number of those players regrettably already headed home. All eyes on Hartford. They did get their first look at Omid Namazi yesterday as their head coach. Some of the same problems, however.
Always going to be difficult with the 2-hour rain delay there, but going into Loudon, what was that going to look like? Ryan Martin's side, they really put a showcase on. Hartford Athletic, well-deserved 3 points. So what's the reaction look like? How can he get into the locker room and get them up for the next time out?
All the while, Monterey Bay and Oakland Roots. That's a fun one on E2.
Excited for it.
Yeah. All right, here's the power rankings, week 17. Nicholas Murray is here to offend your fan base. The Rowdies have risen all the way to number 1, and El Paso dropped down to number 4.
Look at Orange County at number 10. That's raising an eyebrow. We've talked about how quickly and how good they've become since falling off the horse. Martin Carlson doing things just right. Memphis 9-1. Yes, you take a beating at Phoenix Rising, but you're still in the top 10. Lou City, never count them out. Charleston Battery, again, no arguments on my end for this top 10.
And what if I told you Orange County is now just 1 game from catching 6th place Phoenix? It's happened in no time. Vegas is not in the top 10 of the power rankings. They're actually not in the top 23. New Mexico jumped in front here. Armando Moreno.
For 1 win. Wouldn't expect him to be. This is a really good goal here from Pato Botella Falls. We talked about not having someone to step up, the composure to send his defender down. Has it just hammers it into that far post, because so many times when this ball pops out for number 9, they just hit it one time. And as they hit it one time, they run the risk of it going up and over, but off to the corner to celebrate.
And then in stoppage time, Daniel Bruce, Langston Hughes, poetry in motion.
Hang around the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. Get himself in that 6-yard box. Not the prettiest of goals, but he'll take it. 77th minute, New Mexico up on a goal on the road.
New Mexico trying to jump back into playoff contention for a home game. With a win, they would move above the line and just 4 points off the pace for 4th. USL Championship on ESPN. Both these teams are going to be featured here. Colorado Springs and Tulsa, of course, going to be part of the USL Summer Showcase, and it's all the executives here to see what the fan base is so excited about.
See you as well.
I will be there.
You will be there. That's why everyone's going to watch. Going to Colorado Springs to see the legend that is Mike Watts.
Yeah, look, I highly suggest you don't turn around and look at the booth.
Don't
look at the man behind the curtain. 1-0 Colorado Springs. We've got highlights from this game too. It's on the other side of the break. Halftime is brought to you by Pikes Peak National Bank. Return to Widener Field after these messages and a word from your local station.
We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
I moved here about 8 years ago to join the Fox 21 News team. I thought I'd only be here for a couple of years, but I absolutely fell in love with Southern Colorado. I also fell in love with a Pueblo boy when I was interviewing him about his food truck. Now we're married. We have this little girl, and my parents actually owned a restaurant in Arkansas, a catfish restaurant. So it's exciting that my daughter gets to grow up in a restaurant too, in her daddy's kitchen in Pueblo.
Yeah. Watch Taylor Bishop weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10.
In Southern Colorado, you have to be ready for anything.
Sometimes that involves making a really tough decision. Patagonia or North Face?
We make the most out of a nice day. Hey, grab Aspen, Rocky, and Sierra. Let's go.
And in Southern Colorado, we know it's all about the flavor.
And as our cities grow, we hang on to our Western heritage.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Well, hold on tighter.
I thought you were off this way.
I'm getting off this way. This is how you get off. We are Southern Colorado.
Hey, wait! What about me?
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Isn't it beautiful? Nighttime here in Colorado Springs. There will be fireworks after the game. We've got plenty of time between now and then. Monterey Bay hoping to put together a comeback. Pikes Peak National Bank brings you our halftime coverage. And the halftime highlights brought to you by Broadmoor Cryotherapy. Start real early.
But it's all about the movement for Romario Williams. As he drops in, Hugh Roberts gets pulled out. That forces the issue for Kai Green to come across, and it's a lack of rotation for Maury Donor. But give credit to Tejada, the movement to get off the shoulder in the better body position to take nothing away from that exquisite finish.
Skip ahead to the 7th minute. Thumb really on the scale for the Switchbacks.
Yeah, trying to get that secondary goal. As his ball comes out, Mahoney beats his individual mark, but give credit to Chase Boone. Last-ditch defending effort, but nervy moments from Monterey Bay. It was all one-way traffic the first 15 minutes for the Switchbacks. And if you're Stephen Hogan, the question was, can you get that second goal, especially in this first half?
Fjellberg would come out shortly after this moment, but helps to create, but just wide.
Just pulls it a bit too wide, not enough bend on it. He has Herrera beat if that's on target, but he was massive. He gets subbed off. You bring in Shane Beckford into the second half, so how quickly can he get on the ball and how quickly can he get up to tempo here?
First half stats brought to you by Broadmoor Cryotherapy. One shot for the Union.
You need to get going for Monterey Bay. Simple enough. 0 shots on target. So many times you get to that final third, it starts breaking down, whether it's a combination play, whether it's just a ball into a traffic area. Your decision making needs to be a bit cleaner for Frank Gallup. So it's going to be interesting this next 5 minutes. How do you take this hostile environment out of the game for Monterey Bay and get your confidence within your side?
Widener Field in downtown Colorado Springs. The sun setting, a picturesque backdrop onto the second half. 1-0 in favor of Colorado Springs. Tejada in the 2nd minute from Fjellberg. Early down the line, Beckford came in late in the first half. Bouncing ball, rebound, tipped in! And Colorado Springs have another. It's Echeverria. It took 91 seconds in the first half. It takes less than 20 now.
Came out of the break, say how quickly can Shane Beckford make his impact felt? How quickly can he get on the front foot as this ball rotates over? Just look at the movement. There's no need to get that tight. If you're Grant Robinson, you fall down, and it's all about decision making. You put a ball in a dangerous area, good things happen. Bit of confusion between Herrera and Green. And Echeverria, due to his hard work, gets a better body position of Yoseki. It's slow from the center midfielders to understand the little change of angle, gets rewarded for it. Dream start once again for the Switchbacks to get their goal. First 20 seconds, it's coming out of the break. 2-0 to the home side.
Halftime leads, first goals have led to perfection for Colorado Springs. Now they double their money right out of halftime. Steven Echeverria's 2nd of the season. Switchbacks 2, Monterey Bay 0. Monterey Bay trying to avoid a 2nd consecutive defeat here on the road. They weren't panicked about the result in Orange County. After all, they are surging. Spin around. Out to touch. There were expectations for Colorado Springs tonight. Let's be honest. This is the best ticket of the entire season. And you got the feeling that Stephen Hogan was well aware of that. They have to entice the crowd on nights like this, and they have. That's out of the reach of Roberts. Beckford on the run. Williams, back heel, dropped off Williams. Rolls forward, Tejada. Bypassing Speedy, Echeverria, now Speedy Williams again. Echeverria, the goal scorer, pops out. Rolled over by Mahoney. Ogren forward. 17 seconds out of halftime. Colorado Springs right down the field, and a gut punch for Monterey Bay. Twisting and turning down the line, it's Tejada. Donor wins the battle.
But too many times, both outside backs from Monterey Bay are getting so tight to their individual mark. Tejada on that far side, Beckford on this near side, understand that they can turn you like a top. Oh, drop of the shoulder, let the ball run, and it's off to the races. So yes, if you're an outside back, you want to be able to close down the space, but you always have to be arm distance.
This will roll out. You know, Ricky, I can't help but think Indy was not a good fit for Juan Tejada. This feels like the perfect backdrop for him to have a resurgent season.
And it's interesting because we talked about the different stops that he's made throughout his career. A change of scenery, a coach that believes in you, the system that fits you right can be the world of different for a player. And already you've seen him more confident on the ball, the ability to take people on, a combination play. And like you said, Mike, I think if you're Stephen Hogan, you bring him into Colorado Springs, and he's been massive for you.
I'd be very interested to see that this is like state secret level data. When you talk to coaches, sometimes they pull the curtain back and tell you what his high speed sprint numbers are like. It feels like he never walks anywhere. Ball across will go winnowing out beyond Beckford. Well, now Tejada walks. It's like he's trying to prove a point. Nevertheless, Mario Williams snuck that away from his own player, Echeverria. Coley trying to spin. Beckford, electric. Beckford away by Herrera and cleared by Oseki.
Just having so much success getting around the corner. Beckford that's coming on. The ball in a dangerous area. Big time save for Herrera to period away from his goal. You have to be so pleased if you're Stephen Hogan, how your boys have came out of the locker room on the front foot once again, much like the first half. All one-way traffic for the home side.
It's funny as Chapman works his way back up off the ground. We'll take another look. Musa get caught out a bit, and he pays desperately for that awkward first touch. And Chapman slowly meandering through the midfield. Injury stoppage brought to you by Centura Health. But you can't win 4-0 if you don't get the first. And Colorado Springs have had a few laughers past few years with the Michi and Haji combination piling up goals. To score as early as they did, it's kind of the elixir to Monterey Bay on the road. Slid away from Boone. That is Tejada defending. Three straight wins at home for the Switchbacks. 5-2-1 on the year. They do get going early. Numbers are stunning this season. It really has been their engine. Tejada. Kept it in. Donor with the pirouette. It's worth noting Monterey Bay's entire attacking arsenal started tonight on the bench. They get one here. Watch out. Williams. From Tejada. Chapman looking for Beckford. Robinson. Now Beckford crossing. Tejada away. And now off of Donor.
Nervy for Monterey Bay, not dealing well enough with balls being pumped in 18-yard box.
Slid away from Segrist, and Roberts pops out as far as Musa. More service from Colorado Springs and bobbled by Herrera. Beckford. Roberts upfield. Couldn't unlock Tejada. Good step by Boone. Way down to Christian Herrera. Moves to the switch. Ball from Beckford. Found the gap between the outside back and Green, but whisked over to Herrera.
Once again, Mike, it's just slow in recognition for this Monterey Bay back line. Robinson shifts over, Roberts shifts over, but then Kai Green is just hanging around that far post. It's a miss hit from Echeverria, but if he gets clean contact on it, very easily 3-0 for the home side. Something that if you're Frank Gallup, you're going to be scratching your head about, saying, where's our intensity on the back end of things? You're saying pack to keep everything in front of you. We're getting broken down far too easy. It's just not clicking defensively or offensively. Yes, you want to overcommit, commit numbers in that final third, but also having that balance and not leave yourself vulnerable going back the other way.
Good for the league, good for Vegas too. Not so for New Mexico. I think we may have a SportsCenter top 10 play that just happened at Cashman Field in Las Vegas. Good chance we'll turn that around in short order.
I've been a good boy.
Ricky, you've been fantastic tonight. What can I say? Clearly raised by great parents. Roberts. There's no movement. Finds Robinson. Has the support. Oh, Chewy. Throw.
Like you said, Mike, it's just everyone waiting around on their heels, wanting this ball to feet. the two center backs for the Switchbacks.
Another ball across, Enriquez, the reserve. Header up, Herrera started for it, now steps out off the header by Yoseki.
Two center backs for the Switchbacks, Musa, Agrid. Everything has been in front of you, everything has been to the side. It's a dream day at the office, 58 minutes in. Not once has been the threat in behind.
Saw the Monterey Bay subs trying to get loose. When would you let them loose? 60?
I would say 60, 65. If you're Frank Yallop, you bring them in just to give a different look and ask more questions, a different dynamic on that front line. Coley wants the ball to feed. There's no run from a deeper line position. Dawkins hasn't gone beyond his number 9. Boone has been probably the most active, I would say, for Monterey Bay, as well as Shui Enriquez. But again, just you need to pull players out of position. You look at the goal, the first goal, that the Switchbacks, the ability to score, it's just a movement of Mario Williams pulling off a center back. And that's, you can't say the same for Monterey Bay on that front line. It's been too predictable.
This will be with Colorado Springs. Williams, Tejada. Speedy Williams sees this. Karam down to Chuy Enriquez. Dicing ball. If that finds Williams, he laid it off. Not to be. Without a Coley. Flick through. Going to be met by Mahoney. Chapman. Return to Mahoney. 60 minutes, the magic moment for a sub. So Malik Foster in off the bench will replace Juan Tejada. Substitution brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Learn more at hibblecenter.org. He scored 91 seconds in tonight.
The extra effort, the change of pace to create separation from his individual marker gets rewarded. It makes that finish look a lot easier than it is. Ball's coming across. You need to have a top-class technique to get it on target. He hits it extremely well. 61 minutes in. Well done to this shift for Tejada.
Tyreek McGee off the bench to replace Jay Chapman as well. Chapman went down maybe 10 minutes ago. There was a look from the corner flag from Juan Tejada. Seemed to intimate he may have run out of gas as well, but they've both done precisely what they were asked to do tonight. And the starting 11 from the Switchbacks 2-0 win against Miami is now on the field. Their 3 subs all started their last game. Monterey Bay might have one of the most well-known attacking trios in the league because they've been here for a long, long time. Rebelar coming on for Murphy. Subs are brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. To learn more, go to hibblecenter.org. There's Rebelar, there's Sam Gleedle, and Christian Valesky as well. Enriquez checks out. And you'd think Okoli as well. And this is a little closer to the lineup that you probably anticipated coming into the night.
Just brought on 11 goals of your Frank Yallop throughout this 2023 season. 28+ minutes left. Good opportunity for these players. Get on the ball, get the confidence within the side once again. Galito's going to push out to this left-hand side. Valesi's going to spearhead the attack. Rebelar is going to play next to Yoseki, so he's going to give a different look. The ability to join the attack and run with the ball is so special. Adrian Rebelar Again, you want to get the confidence, and as you start to get in a rhythm, that's when you can express yourself, especially in that final third. But this man, he needs to get service early and often. Already 7 goals, 4 assists on the year. He's a player that can create something out of nothing and turn this game on the head.
Mario Williams in the talking to. Valesky, Rebel R. From Robinson, not to be. A reminder, if you're Colorado Springs, you had to bring Beckford on with 2 minutes left in the first half to replace the injured Jonas Fjellberg. So they only have 1 moment for their last 2 subs. Triple sub by Monterey Bay took away any of that unnecessary napkin math. Green.
Good ball.
Valesky. That is really unfortunate. 7 goals, 11 goal contributions in totality in just under 1,300 minutes this year. You could genuinely say, if Monterey Bay keep rising up the West, be in the MVP conversation. He says he's fine.
Not fun.
He's saying he's fine. Because the athletic trainer came out in the stoppage due to a potential head injury, Valesky needs to check out for a moment, be allowed back into the game. Player hates it, I'm sure. In the long run, I'm sure the player would look back and say he loves it. Is Valesky returning? Musa. Roberts. Given away, back to Beckford. Beckford, if he could have just gotten 1 more step. Lined up Tyreek McGee.
Just a wrong decision there for Hugh Roberts. Don't want to play a ball. So you're outside back with traffic up his backside. Recipe for a disaster. He has the ability to recover without a fire there. And if you have any hope of clawing back into your game, take no risks, especially in your defensive half.
Tyreek McGee. I feel like we haven't even seen 50% of what makes him special coming in from Eupen in Belgium. Valesky. Gleedle. Ball through. Malik Foster. Foster goes down. That is a penalty. Penalty, Colorado Springs. Chance to grab a 3-goal lead.
Sound like a broken record, Mike. When you look at Kai Green, the center back, look how stretched he is. The lack of rotation as Mordona pushes up, then it's emergency defending. Slow, mistime challenge. I think Foster makes the most of that challenge. I don't know if there's any contact there, to be fair. We'll take a look at it here. Yeah. There's an argument to be had if you're Monterey Bay. You're getting done by, but again, proactive defending. As your outside back goes wide, you need to be able to shift over to not even get in this position.
So often we see a referee point to his ear because of VAR. That's not in the championship, but
there's no touch.
The AR can assist the referee in changing the call if he believes, in fact, it is clear and obvious. The problem is the AR was on the exact opposite side of the field to get a good look at it.
If there was VAR, this is getting overturned because there's clearly no touch for Kai Green. I think Foster makes the most of it.
So there's no card, and then you see Kai Green's gone to the AR to ask further questions. Regrettably, it appears it's not going to get him anywhere. Matthew Thompson has gone over now to the 4th official and asked for a bit of privacy. Continue this conversation. All right, here's another look.
This long touch right here from Beckford. Green pulls out of the challenge at the last second. There's zero contact here. I think Foster makes the most of it. You see the reaction, rightly so, from the center back.
So, of note, Carlos Herrera has never seen a penalty as a pro.
It's interesting, Mike. Players are pointing to the scoreboard and the video monitor. So if you're the Switchbacks, you're not playing this back.
Well, we're working at finding cards here soon. And it's really important that Matthew Thompson take control of this moment. Because you can certainly understand, well, we know what the fans think, but they're neither jury nor executioner. So Carlos Herrera has never seen a pro penalty. Romario Williams has only taken 4, made 3. Brandon Miller, the last player to stop him. He has converted his last 2 tries, including against Benny Diaz of El Paso earlier this season. 3 goals off the Golden Boot in the championship. Carlos Herrera to try and keep Monterey Bay in the match. Dubious or not, Romario Williams steps to the ball and scores! His 8th of the season.
just pulls out of it at the last second. Kai Green cleared, no contact here. This is probably the best look at it that we're gonna take. Foster goes down. Won't ask any question. Romario Williams, cool as you would like, opens up his hip, sends Herrera the wrong way. Quality, 3-0. Switchbacks in the driver's seat here at home on 4th of July. A little dance to go with it. Team celebration, you love to see it if you're Stephen Hogan.
Switchbacks goal presented by Century Casinos. Welcome to the winner's zone. Comes in the 73rd minute. Well, you wouldn't blame Monterey Bay players. They certainly felt jobbed in that moment. Now this 2-goal mountain taller than Pikes Peak. Three-goal deficit on the road. They've conceded 6 goals in their last 2 games. One of the most defensively sturdy teams in the league. Have given 3 to Orange County and 3 to the Switchbacks. Donor, Revelar, as Dawkins. Ahead to Mahoney. Roberts. Vital intervention, or McGee is already in the corner celebrating. Foster working off Williams, back to Foster. Malik Foster! Herrera straight into the air.
Just too easy. Lack of tracking the runner from Donor. Big time save from Herrera, makes no mistake about it, makes himself extremely big. Also has eyes for this far post, a kick save at the last second. The ball goes by you. If you're Donor, you have to have the ability to track your runner. As we see Kai Green making way, I think if you're Frank Gallup, you have to pull him off. Emotional because he gets wrong call made on him. You don't want him to go in a rash challenge, especially. Talked about the importance of the El Paso match. You want to keep him on the field. You want to get him, Roberts.
Oh, and we just talked about how many minutes everyone's had to manage. Alex Lara coming in. He's only played 5 games this year. Sub brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. Go to HibbleCenter.org for more information. That's it for Green. And that's the penultimate sub for Monterey Bay. Green hasn't missed a minute this year.
But I think if you're Frank Gallup, that's such a smart move. Man management. You don't want him to be emotional, go into a rash challenge, see red, make up for his mistake, or lack thereof, excuse me, wasn't a mistake.
Make up for someone else's mistake. Foster on the fly. Has Beckford. Caroms away from Lara. Monterey Bay get one. Start to believe here on the road. Boone. Donor. Dawkins. Return from Valesky. Slide in. Monterey Bay incensed once more. This is the Switchbacks team that's put this town in a trance. Colorado teams are winning titles. Who knows? Maybe this is the year for the Switchbacks. Maybe it's just the Kroenke teams. Who knows? Shane Beckford. Williams tried to dummy that through. Donor. Hugh Roberts. Room here to explore for Grant Robinson. That's an acrobatic deflection out. If you're Colorado Springs, there's something to be said. Historically, they've always given up just about as many as they've scored. Leaving here with a clean sheet tonight carries some real importance. I go back to what Frank Yallop told us. If you walk away with a clean sheet, you're guaranteed a point. And that's how you go through in the postseason. Something that's bit Colorado Springs in recent years. Since their Western Conference final run under Steve Tritchu. Robinson, that tackle in slow motion. Little tug of the jersey. Beckford will continue. Beckford! Glided by Lara. Was hoping there was still advantage. Boone. Down he goes.
One v one, right where Chase Boone wants his marker. Lucas lunges in just a tad bit early. There's no need. He feels the contact. He goes down. Was one to read the body position in the hips of the attacking player. If he gets by you, you move your feet, you make him play negative. Now, looking for quality here from Simon Dawkins, trying to put this ball right between that PK mark and that 6-yard box to ask questions of Herrera and cause chaos within this back line of the Switchbacks.
Dawkins. Robinson.
He hits it well. It's a good first touch out of his body. Trying to catch it on the half volley, just bends it as he's always leaning away from the goal. Has eyes for that top corner. Doesn't miss by much.
If this result holds, Colorado Springs jump Monterey Bay into the fourth and final home playoff game position behind San Antonio, El Paso, and Sacramento. Foster. It's McGee. McGee again. Liedl. You see Echeverria pull out in front. Wiggling through. Williams. And struck out a line. Oh! Echeverria! A stunner! Are you kidding me? A laser beam! 4-0 Colorado Springs. Happy 4th.
When things are going your way, things are going your way. As this ball pops out, so many times you say after training, tell your assistant coach just to pop this back to me for hopes to execute it on game day just like this. Head down, just ropes this thing into this near post. Herrera never stands a chance. Ziggy loves it, the fans love it. Echeverria gets his brace on the day. 4-0 to the home side. Dream performance for the Switchbacks.
And a salute for the second in the half for Steven Echeverria. 83rd and the 46th minute. He scored 17 seconds out of the break. And for sure now, the Switchbacks goal presented by Century Casinos. Welcome to the winner's zone. Wow.
Just hits it so clean. Head down, laces straight through the middle of the ball. Technique on 100. Echeverria. You don't hit it any cleaner than that. Those are the ones that you dream about as a center midfielder. You just run onto it and unleash it.
You have to think for Monterey Bay, they walk out of here and go, light all the film from the road trip on fire, get back home, and you've got El Paso coming over the weekend. That is probably, to this point, the most important game of their season upcoming, given how this has gone. Ball across Valesky. Dummied all the way through, it's Robinson. Opening up Gleedle, bouncing. He attempted a deflection from an outstretched leg of Valesky off the mark. You know, Ziggy always looks pretty joyous, but I mean, those teeth were looking pretty pearly. Oh man. Ziggy's got some game. Man. All the way through. That's ripped in by Herrera. All the way down to Herrera. Correct me if I'm wrong, but goal of the week reset on Monday, right? Vegas, we've got a problem. We've got a couple here, too.
It's going to be very interesting to see who wins that award.
Aaron Wheeler checking in. Sub brought to you by the William J. Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center, hibblecenter.org for more. Here's what happened out in the desert. 90+5. It's Gonzalez with the equalizing goal.
Just stop it. The technique it takes to pull this off as traffic is oncoming to hit it clean. Get your leg high enough as it's horizontal to the ground, to the body leaning away from the ball to get it on the target off. Shirt comes off respectively off to the corner in Vegas. Salvage a point at home.
You think Matt Peterson and I hit the same octave on our goals tonight?
No chance. No chance.
Romario Williams done for the night. Scored in the 73rd, the controversial penalty, to say the least. In the end, it only proves to be icing tonight for Colorado Springs. Monterey Bay, a night they'd like to forget. And make no mistake, El Paso is going to be in for a remarkable fight in Seaside over the weekend.
Well, you talk to every single coach within this USL Championship, and there's just so much respect for what Frankie Alp and this Monterey Bay side have done. Clear-cut identity, the style of play, so difficult to break down defensively, but also just to keep them off the score sheet. 27 goals throughout the season so far. You have Alex Sixton. We haven't even seen him. 8 goals and 2 assists on the season. Valesky's 7 goals, 4 assists. You bring those players in, start them from minute 1. You get them confident because you know Frank Calp is going to want to get into their boys and light something underneath them to get them motivated up for that game against El Paso.
By Herrera. 8 goals in 2 games tonight in the championship. Appeals in all directions. A whistle from the referee. This is a crowd expectant for one more. High passing into Speedy Williams. McGee can do the spectacular. Speedy Williams, mentor to McGee. Then the Jamaican setup. Foster, give and go. Angles outside. Serves a decent ball. Roberts up to the task. Knotted down by Mahoney. That's too much from Wheeler. Comes Monterey Bay forward. Stoppage time brought to you by the Tick-Tock Shop. 4 added minutes. Valesky. Fans are already hearing fireworks. Those are merely the precursor. This corner is brought to you by the McDivitt Law Firm. We are in your corner. Up and away from Dawkins, kept away from Gleedle. Robinson. Donor, that's denied. Colorado Springs have another goal in mind. That's beyond Foster. He will recover. 3 minutes to play. There goes McGee. Early service. There's Herrera trying to grab hold of a clean sheet here late. The start of the year, he can challenge to start. He's done much more than that. He's been the guy. And Colorado Springs are on the verge going to 500. There's something to be said, Ricky, about a team that either wins or loses. After all, a win as valuable as 3 draws. Colorado Springs in the final third once more. It is Foster seeking Wheeler. Got all the way through. Nobody home. But these switchbacks have been better off playing this sort of style over the course of the regular season than a number of teams that have far fewer losses but are sitting deeper on the table.
There's a clear identity of what Stephen Hogan wants to play. You talk about never giving up, because so many times when teams, much like this Monterey Bay side, play until the last whistle, but always having the ability, the trust that we can call back into every single game and salvage points here or there. It was really interesting what Frank Gallup told us. It's so simple but so profound. You get a clean sheet, you're walking out with at least a point. And that's something that, I mean, I've never thought about it like that. And that's the reason why I'm not a head coach. But you talk about defensively being compact. This Switchback side only allowing 21 goals throughout this season so far. We're at 22, so something was going to give in this match. If you're Stephen Hogan, you have to be so pleased. Yes, you scored 4 goals. Yes, you give the fans here in attendance a show, but also you get a clean sheet. That's so important for the mentality and the psyche of a side. We can play a high-octane attacking unit and shut them out, and be first to every 50-50 ball, be compact, keep everything in front of you. Because yes, Herrera, he's been widely contested. It's so easy for him and the 2 center backs just because their positioning has been so good.
Wheeler walking toward the corner, wins a free kick, and it is full time. On the 4th of July, a 4-0 Colorado Springs win in front of a massive crowd in downtown Colorado Springs, advancing to 4th place in the Western Conference. Mission accomplished. This critical moment of the match brought to you by Centura Health. You're thinking about the one in the 46th, but this was too nice.
Just stuff you dream about. First center midfielder, as this ball pops off, it's all about the secondary action. You hit it so clean. Just watch the technique. The hips are over it, the shoulders are over it, the head is down, the laces are through it. Just ripples the back of the net. What a terrific strike that was for Echeverria.
And wouldn't you guess it, the votes are in. The Better Business Bureau Man of the Match, Stephen Echeverria. Read verified customer reviews and check business ratings, bbb.org. And Ricky, you said it's a dream for a central midfielder. He never gets this award because he's not the one who scores the goals. And yet on this night, he gets his roses.
He gets his brace as well, but so much of what he did defensively was so important for the success for the home side. Clogging passing lanes, because if you ask Monterey Bay, nothing went centrally for Frank Gallup, and all because of this man. His relationship between Speedy Williams, Jay Chapman, but doing both sides of the ball has been terrific for Stephen Echeverria, and it's a well-deserved man of the match.
1 goal in his first 69 games for the Switchbacks. 2 goals tonight. Colorado Springs, goals for fun this evening. The Switchbacks with a 4-0 win on the 4th to move to 4th. Tonight's postgame presented by SoCo CW is coming up after this.
Burgers for the mind, tacos for the heart, and chili for the soul. We're Felipe's 109, home of the taco burger. Local flavors, family owned, love, peace, green chili, y'all.
Hi, I'm Scott Kilbury, host of Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids. We have 30 of the best and brightest schools from all across Southern Colorado competing for the top spot. Question is, who will come out on top? Watch Rocky Mountain Quiz Kids Sundays at 6:30, sponsored by the Pikes Peak Library District.
At Fox 21, we say we are Southern Colorado, but what does that really mean?
It means we bring you the local stories from our towns, our people.
With stories that show how you live, work, and play.
Plus the stories that impact our communities.
We want to tell the stories that are important to you because we are Southern Colorado.
Watch Fox 21 local news weekday mornings from 5 to 9 a.m. and weeknights at 5, 6:30, 9, and 10. We are Southern Colorado.
Saturday during the summers was our get up and go to Monument Lake fishing. From a little hobby as an 11-year-old kid, it's turned into quite a business.
Our stories matter.
If they're on the trails, if they're in the woods, if they're anywhere, I can be with them now.
Bringing you the most local news.
All of the people that are doing this type of agriculture are trying to do a better thing for society.
We are Fox 21, and together we are Southern Colorado.
Welcome back to tonight's post-game show. It is presented by SoCo CW. Mike and Ricky to wrap this one up here tonight. This was wild. SoCo CW presents the highlights as well. It starts 90 seconds into the game.
But it's all about playing off to number 9. As Hugh Roberts gets drawn out, Fieldsberg understands that let me play indirect because there's going to be a ton of real estate. Bottom of your screen, always getting goal side and beating your individual mark, but taking nothing away from this fantastic finish from Tejada. As his ball coming across, he doesn't need to hit it too hard. It's into the back of the net. You walk into halftime. Was it 21 seconds after halftime? Shane Beckford gets on the ball. You talk about the movement on the back end of things. Center midfielder having that extra effort, late trailing run right down the heart of this back line from Monterey Bay. A little bit of a confusion and spillage between Herrera and Kai Green, and who's there? Echeverria. Such an easy finish. We'll see more of him in a bit. And this is where the game completely changed. I think the wheels fell off for Monterey Bay. No touch at all from Kai Green. Probably the best look you'll see here. Foster makes the most of it. Who's going to step up? It's going to be your leading goal scorer, Romario Williams.
Williams, 8th of the season, and his second make in 2 tries from the penalty spot. Makes it 3-0, which sets the stage for this.
Just what you dream of a center midfielder. Pops out. Don't need a second invitation to pull the trigger, and boy, does he hit this clean. See the technique, lands on his strike foot, just ripples the back of the net. The fans love it, everyone loves it, teams love it. That's 4 goals for the Switchbacks, that's 3 points, and massive at home.
The Better Business Bureau presents the full-time stats read, verified customer reviews, check business ratings at bbb.org. Chance for your final thoughts on this game, where it just never got going for Monterey Bay in a game where they rotated more than any game all season.
And I think if you're Frank Alp, you kind of expected that to a certain extent, but not the extent. Only 1 shot on target. You don't shoot, you don't score. So again, how do you get right your wrongs and get that motivation factor back across when you have El Paso but the Switchbacks? You look at this performance as kickstarting your attacking unit. 4 goals, and the way that you scored those goals, and also defensively, that clean sheet is massive for the psychic of Stephen Hogan's boys.
Glad I could spend the 4th with you, buddy.
Making my heart warm.
No. Colorado Springs, the place to be, and Widener Field rocking from the opening 2 minutes. They bagged 4 tonight, move into 4th place, jump Monterey Bay in the process. For our entire team, Ricky Lopez has been alongside Mike Watts saying, thanks for watching. SoCo CW presented the postgame as the Switchbacks beat Monterey Bay 4-0. Good night, Ziggy.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.